the best online project for investment education and training of private investors. The Academy of a Private Investor. Started in 2011, it is the most effective system of training of private investors. Trainers of the Academy of a Private Investor have up to 20 years experience in private investing. They share only practical experience. Goal of the project? To give a full understanding of the science of investing. At the Academy, you will learn how to create a major revenue of more than 1 million in 5 to 10 years. Having a small monthly income from $100 to $1,000 per month, you will understand how you can get 1,000% return from your investments per year or even more. Thanks to the knowledge gained in the Academy, you will not only create millions of capital, but also realize your wildest dreams and goals. Join the team of progressive people and get a gift that is highly demanded in the market.
It's fair, but we're going to start with our matter. Well, mama for you, no farmer for you, manana may for you, so tato me lava fiafi. Okay. O sina tala anga ni o lang. Wa o te host the pole nei ia. Io wingoa io si o fa o me lo wingoa o si I matu tona ho ching uiva. Ia o staitai ia o ia te asi to finga o nga lue fo titono le nei lava company e portato company. Io lo avea fo ia o su moe e titono le tato council ia so swani na io tato tangata sa moa fata se fo I manisi fo io uso matu ngani. Nela ngatele na ia nai fa manianga ia sa o wai tono nei lava pisilisi. Ai o te li awai tono nei company ia sa wa o se tina sa ola ese ainga tama fai sa moa ia polisi ufoilia se ainga mattiva la mai sa moa o te le mai ta watu se matu ainga ia e to se fulu e mato ia lo tama ma lo tina sa e pokopo I tula ele ia maliu na yo maliu si to mai fituono tasi mai leo I mato lo matutina to tasi lava na ile na oia lava tasi e mato to se fulu ile baba ayatu si matutina ile fainga tau le ulanga e sele le leamo to tongi sa moa na al fasu ta lalo tongi sa moa ya Eki Grace. I know o fa o mai pensenga. I graduated from Church College of Western Samoa. My motivation behind my success, because I don't want my mother to continue to work. Unfortunately, back in the days, the wages are very poor. You know, even though it's paradise, we call Samoa home, always will be home to me. And it's paradise to me. But unfortunately, finances, it's not enough. Ore silifa momoina la ulanga. Ngata nei ya te amana yo uso ya matu malanga tu ya tu ifafo ina ya mawasiru mana Emmanuel ia ona o mai le ya tu ifafo ni sila o mai Australia o ila sa fa peo ni sila ta fele susuma le mel ale wo me Australia le haila e ta fetele la susuma mel in Australia eselemane. So I take up the opportunity in Australia. So grateful. I'm grateful for everything that I do. I give it back credit to my parents. I thank them for all the things they do for me and raising me to be the daughter that I am now. You know, all the values. You know, watu no palang. Watu nuune o tato mai lava ile ia tunuune sa ili ma lo tato te su manuia ia e tato te le mafo te watu tato so to mana pa e ma fai fo tato sa mon tato tato tala le nana Britania. I never knew how to speak English, but I make a choice to want to learn about English. Honestly, if I see a white person back in Samoa, I would hide. I don't want to learn because I'm scared if I might say something wrong. But look at me. I always tell myself, you know, I have excelled and I've become somebody now because My goal is to help everyone out there that I can possibly can, with the love and support from everyone in our New Aina, not only with this business, but in general. Honestly, I represent myself well because I'm taking my family, my friends, my community, my church, everything. And I honestly say that I'm also a member of the World's Journals for Peace, because I love, I am a peacemaker. This company also offers the opportunity for you to become a member of the peace. Raise your hand if you want to be in an association that's, for peace. Raise your hand. Thank you. We see the world right now is corrupted. Everything's upside down. We want to be the forefront of the peacemakers. And as well, at the moment, I'm also a marathon participant, and as well as these companies, our speakers will speak about the Academy of the Private Investor, right? They're going to speak about that, and also, the Whaiwina Foina Ya Onga, it's Tono Australia to Sangaluafis from Maleono, Yeromoine, Failonga Foi, Saunga, Pasta Malfalawa, Shotamama, Shotina. I'm still working, so even if you're working at the moment, look for something else, to add on to what you're already, doing at the moment. Wala me afayo yeni fale asiu se tulo o itono ne potu wa o te saumele no ule fale asiu tawa ana o tina o fale asiu masi o tama saumele no ma na le fale alu po e moto yele la na isa wa ile si o tua okay, that's all about me. Everyone, we're here to help as many people in our Pacific Island, predominantly but not limited, right? Our hands are open to anybody, right? But I would like to introduce the next speaker. Right, the next speaker, our speaker one, will be Ian Bird. Give it up for Ian Bird. Ian Bird is a friend of mine. We traveled to India together last year for the celebration of the 5 years of our company. Give it up for him.
Thank you. So yes, we've travelled a little bit together now, and unfortunately this year's been a bit quiet for travel, for obvious reasons, but next year's going to be a big year. If we can get over what we've got now, next year's going to be great. And but yes, now we do have a compliance, ladies and gentlemen, as every company does there, and you're going to hear things like EIPs, which stands for Education Information Products, MLCI, Multi-Level Crowd Investing. Now, if you're here for the very first time, that'll be a foreign word for you. We're the first company in the world to put this together. And on this scale, especially this scale, it's massive. CAU is a crypto unit into internal points for tokens. Now, ladies, please note, we do not sell or do not have a license to sell shares or tokens. All countries have their own rules for sale of financial products, and we comply with the laws of the country. Most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. We offer the opportunity to participate in wealth building training, which provides fundamental principles on which wealth is created and maintained. We do not provide financial investment consultancies. Please do your own due diligence or request confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area for compliance with requirements in your state or country. Now, we know there's a lot of things out there at the moment that cause a lot of issues, and I'm in a business myself. I'm very fortunate that I have been probably have been affected by the COVID. In fact, I've got busier. but not a lot of other companies out there have felt this bad, and it's going to take a while to get over it. Now, the meeting tonight, really, guys, is broken into two parts. I'll be doing the first, investment thinking, Academy of Private Investor, role of financial literacy, the VIP Club, I'm a private investor, the growth prospects, bonuses of participation of the club, and global CEO portfolio. And lastly, we'll be doing multi-level crowd investing, and also business training for partners, and the new economic evolution of the world, which is great. And what is new, and the plans for the company. And we've actually got a special speaker at the end of it, which is going to be Stuart, and Stuart's going to tell you his story, and it's quite good. Now, there are three speakers, I say. It's myself. Yes, I'm a leader manager. If you're here for the very first time, that just means the company's giving me a rank because I've helped a lot of people achieve their goals in this company. That's what it just means. By helping people, you can rank up. Because they do, they look after you a little bit better. Because what's his manager under the system, and of course Stuart's a manager as well. So you've got a bit of credibility here, guys. We've all done the hard yards, so that's great. Now myself, yes, I'm a representative of the Asia Pacific Council. I'm also a Master Profit graduate. Once again, if you're here for the very first time, that's an education program. It just means I've done a few courses and passed them. Like I say, I'm a tradesman. I know how to run a business, but I've never been taught how to become an investor. This company's taught me that so much. I'm also a leader manager, international speaker, private investor entrepreneur, and a member of the General Press Association. I'm actually very proud to be part of that, because in New Zealand I was actually with the New Zealand Army. I was a combat engineer for the armed forces. I understand where these gentlemen are coming from. War is not a good thing. Peace is far better. And these generals are pushing it around the world. They just don't want to go down that bad road. So I'm very proud to be part of that. And also I'm MLC 260 marathon participant and administrator. I'm actually doing the homework, and I'm also marking it. It's quite interesting. It keeps you fairly busy. And I'm also a tradesman and a business owner. Like I said, I did my apprenticeship in New Zealand many years ago in the glass industry, and now I've got my own business here in Brisbane. So I wear many hats, I really do. Now, see the gentleman up there in the blue suit? That's actually our CEO, Andrei Haratov. Now, Andrei's background really is he's an entrepreneur, he's a broker, and for over 20 years he's been playing on the markets, learning a lot of skills, and he's done quite well. He's done very well. He's a self-made multi-millionaire, and he's got a lot of experience. But he realises a lot of people out there who need to be taught how to make money. So in 2011, he created his schools. And because of that, he has over 9 years of expertise, more than 1.3 million users in 175 countries have gone through his school. We're part of that, by the way. We're part of his education program. That's a lot. He had teachers with over 23 years experience, investment in business firms. In other words, these people have gone out there and done it, made their mistakes, and come back and now teaching the right way of doing things. In practical sales studies in areas of finance, global investment and personal growth, so real case studies. You'll hear Andre talk about things that have happened in the past and how they made mistakes and how not to go down that road. And group lessons and individual coaching and mentoring. So let's think about investment thinking. I know it's a little bit hard for us because we've gone through the education system not to think about this. They only teach us certain things. I use it like when we're in the armed forces. All the Army, Air Force and Navy do the same basic training. It's just called basic training. When you've done your 12 weeks training, you go off and do your core training. Like I was an engineer, so I learned how to do engineering. Our education system is exactly the same thing. Everybody gets taught the same thing, and hopefully a few of us will go off to go to university or do something else. I did the little things a little different. I became a tradesman. I did a 4-year apprenticeship. So I did a little thinking. And this is actually Robert Kiyosaki, we all know about him. And he's actually put it in a perfect way of how the world works. Now, Robert believes that we're all workers. Like I say, we go to school, get taught the basics, and we all go and get a job. We just keep doing the same thing day in, day out. One day you're close to retirement. I've moved out of that and gone to become an entrepreneur. In other words, I've stepped out of the box and become a business owner. So I've gone that next step. The downside, guys, is 10% of the money is owned by 90% of the people. Even though I'm not in business, really, it's just a glorified tax break. That's all it is. Like a little bit of tax break than the average person. But I'm working for it. We need to move over across the other side there. Now, businessmen are a little bit different. That means they can go on holidays, because they should have a good sized business where if they want to go on holidays or they're not well, their business should still keep working for them, and hopefully it'll be there when they come back. So in other words, they've got other people working for them to make them the money. An investor, of course, just takes advantage of all of it. He's got his own money working for him. So he plays a different game to us. It's like 90% of the money is owned by 10% of the people. Now the guys are in it. We need to move across. Currently we're on that left-hand side. Andre's teaching us to move across to the other side. Not only us, but our children. And what we're doing today, our children will reap the benefit of it. We really will. I love this slide. It's a perfect example of how the world's set up. As you can see there, the countries in the blues have got some form of financial literacy. There's Australia, New Zealand, Canada, America, and so forth. But you notice those countries are quite stable. They don't seem to have a lot of issues like the other countries. Oh, apart from America alone, that's another thing. But once again, all the other countries here all want to get in boats and come to these countries to better their lives. And they're willing to risk their lives in doing that. That's not good. Andre's goal is to teach 15% of the world's population financial literacy. We're part of that. And by doing that, he's teaching them how to recognise the opportunities in their own countries. Why would you leave your own country if you can see the opportunities there? You put your life at risk and start all over again in a foreign country, different languages, different customs, the whole lot, when we can teach them to recognise it in their own country. See how the big picture? It's bigger than you realise. He's a smart man, Andre. So once again, I love that. And why? Because we have a solution. We can teach personal growth, investment courses, business education. We do have the solution. Training courses are aimed at self-development. A lot of us get put down all the time. Andre's picking us up. Goal setting, planning, improving financial literacy, formulation of investment thinking, outside the box today, learning different business and building methods and strategies. That's why I like the board game that we have. That's great, it gets you thinking. So once again, he's changing the way we think. And some perfect examples of success stories. Now, I'm up there, of course, and I did have a bit of growth in my face then because we were supposed to be in Moscow very soon, and I thought it was going to be cold, so I might grow a bit of a beard for our 6th birthday, but it ain't going to happen this year. So, once again, but the lady next to see, Alex, I've travelled with her a fair bit. She's a perfect example. She's a solo mum. Husband died. Unfortunately, a couple of children were not very well. She struggled. She hit the brick wall. She got up, shown this particular business, and she came out fighting. And boy, has that changed her life, big time. She learned so much, yeah. And without that, I don't know. You know, she hit pretty hard. But because of this, she's now travelled the world and it's changed the direction of life completely. You know, it's great to see. There's all those people there, and some more. Now these are actual council members. There's over 200 of us around the world here to support the membership. Now I want to see an organisation that does that. Our role is to help you guys succeed in this business. Like I said, we're all family. We want to see everybody learn and succeed. The VIP club. Boy, this is exciting. Now we all know there's clubs out there like frequent flyer clubs, and there's always these cards out there looking after people. And that's true, we're no different really. The difference is, it's an elite club. The reason why it's elite, because you get discounts up to 75%. It really looks after us. You don't have to join it, but I'll show you why you should. Exclusive offers, you'll get it before anybody else. Access to the crypto program and its bonuses. There's a lot happening, and you need to take advantage of that. Additional income streams that come with it. So that's that. And participation in the closed monthly meetings. Now here for the first term, I've never seen an organisation where twice a month he opens the books and shows how well we've done, the mistakes we made, how we've done this and corrected things like that. The first one's a public one, which is shown on Facebook Live and on YouTube. The second one, if you're a VIP member, it's a closed session. You'll get an email from the company saying you're invited to come along. And it's closed. You can't record it, you're not allowed to put anything on Facebook. But what you see in that is incredible. It shows the nuts and bolts of what we're doing and where he's going with it. And that's as open you can never get. I love that. And this is some of the courses we can do. So like I say, I'm in business. I do have a bit of a financial background. It wasn't until I started looking at this and understood I was missing out so much. And there's the EIP beginner, education financial pack, your basic, elementary education. I actually started that one, started learning very quickly. But there's the simple one at the top, the foundations of investing and the 8 rules for a prime investor. That's the foundation. It's so simple. This is not actually rocket science. It's actually words never taught at school. And some people say there's a reason behind that. It could be, but now it's time to change. It really is. And here's an example of what the costings are. Now 50 units is $50, we know that. So the EIP beginner starts 50, the basic's 250, and 1,000, 4,000. But look at the discounts you're getting. Andre wants us to succeed in the education for a particular reason. It's quite a large one. The crypto unit. This is where we start changing things. Once again, it started back on 30th March 2019, so it's over a year old. And boy, we've seen it grow since then. The part that really excites me is on the 15th of January, we entered the Richland blockchain. The new world coming. Just by moving our stuff from our back office to that, we're the 15th largest in the world. And we've done anything. We've done nothing. We just moved. Now we've moved out of it onto our own blockchain. Now the world's going, who the hell are you guys? Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? They're really watching us. So there's a lot happening, as you know, coming up very shortly, guys. So watch that space. It's going to be exciting for us. We're breaking all the rules in the system the right way, of course, but it's paying off. It really is. It's exciting for us. And the reason why we're so successful is part of the education. We talk all these sectors, but these sectors are actually in our, the 8 rules of prime investor. One of the rules is diversification. Do not put all eggs in one basket, because that's where the risks are. If, as you know, the markets have dropped, a lot of companies are in trouble because they've been so narrow and they've gone down. We've spread ourselves over 20 sectors. There's actually more than that, but that's our basic ones. Education, multi-level crowd investing, sector economic presentation, health and longevity, innovative transport development sector. That was our first project back in 2014. Boy, the banking sector, stock markets, forex, crypto markets, insurance sector, real estate, in the development sector, agriculture, the sector of entrepreneurial, science, culture, and the one I love, precious metals and stones. And also space development. That is massive where we're heading with that, it really is. And of course the charity sector, we need to give back. And he's teaching us that now. So it's quite good. So that's a wide spread that protects us for the bigger picture. And here's some examples of what we've got ourselves into. Like, I hope you like sushi, because the Europeans love it. We're opening up 39 restaurants so far, and you co-owns that. So every time someone orders a bit of sushi, guess what? It's good for us. And of course the gold. Why gold? It's the foundation of any investment portfolio. It's a solid. And it's growing. The film industry, yes, it's been a little bit quiet because people can't go to the movies. But we bought into that. These guys do special effects. It's incredible what these guys can do. They've over 15 successful projects so far. They're mainly in the Indian and the Asian market. Why? Because they love that kind of stuff. So that's very good for us as well. And who's heard of basalt? It's a rock. Very common around. I see they're actually looking for it on Mars now, because why? It's a great building material. Mars is covered in it, by the way. Be nice for us. But once again, they use it for so many things. Why? It doesn't rust. It's lighter than steel, stronger than steel. The application is just incredible. When you look at, you go on YouTube and punch up basalt, there's so many videos there, and we're right in that marketplace. Fantastic. So what does the crypto program provide? Co-ownership. I love that word. Co-ownership. In the CAU Global Portfolio. Monthly loyalty bonus. Option to receive profit bonuses. Regulated transparent financing. Like I say, on the Saturdays we have that. CAU value growth due to the increase of assets. In other words, as the company goes up, we get rewarded. Possibility of circulation of the CAU in global merchandising. You look at that, that is $1 trillion business by itself. It's incredible. Sort of set things up quite nicely. And I forgot to tell you, our portfolio has gone up to 470 odd million. The month before it was only 460. The markets are going down, yet we're going up. That's a good sign, isn't it? Spread out. On roads no fool. Diversification is so important. Spread your risks out. Certain sectors will go down, we know that, but others will go up. It's all about balance. And we're part of that, guys. We really are. I love it. So, step-by-step guide. If you have a reverse time, come on board, make the free registration, have a look from the inside out. I say, don't look from the outside in. Come on board, have a look at the news, see what's going on there. And the website's good. There's even another one coming up very shortly because we're moving to a new phase in the company. So you'll just get used to that one and we'll change it on you. But once again, become a member of the VIP club and receive bonuses. Why not? Step 3, choose the right EIP. What education you want to learn, specify, and go and look at it, and start learning. We need to be taught how to handle what's coming up. We really do. We don't draw on tricks like lotto. We don't want to blow it. This is true. And take action and just go for it. If you feel like you want to share this with other people, please do. We're actually paying for it. We're not here to make money off everybody like that. We just share the knowledge what we've got with these other people and make a difference in their lives. Well, that's me, guys. I'd like to hand over to the lovely lady here. Welcome. Great. We've actually travelled a fair bit together now. Yes. And there's a lot more coming up. This is exciting. I've never seen a company where they want you to travel and experience the world. It's great. You know, some of the places we go to and coming up is very exciting. So, without further ado, guys, well, thank you for listening to me and
Are you ready? We're going to be ready. Yes, that's what I want to hear. You know why I start off by saying, are you ready? Because we are only weeks away. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then you get to your upline and find out what's going on. So before I start, we are streaming live on Facebook. So make the time to share, like and tag, share, like and tag, share, like and tag all your friends and family. So before I start, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone around the globe. If you are here for the first time, thank you for coming on board. If you are here because you like to see me or like to hear my voice, then I want to say thank you for your commitment, your motivation, your support over the many years that you've come and joined our company. Because it hasn't been an easy road for all of us. But you must have faith and you must have belief to be able to stand with us and know that there is a huge reward at the end of this. I also want to thank our elders, our lovely elder Vaya Pelu. She is one of our oldest members. She never misses a session. She actually knows the 8 rules of the private investor inside and out. She knows the 5 commandments. If she was to do a class, she would be able to do that for you. No questions asked, she knows exactly because she's always there. I also want to acknowledge somebody that's new, not met her before, Minora. Minora, you will never be left behind. As Chris said before, we are a family. No one gets left behind. I don't care what team you're in, I don't care what country you're from, you need help, you come and see us. Okay, so I'm going to start my presentation. Normally I'm doing a Zoom, so I'm always running around with my slippers on, but today I had to get dressed up. So, when I start off, I am one of the new representatives of the Asia Pacific Council. Now, in being in the Leadership Council, it's a huge privilege, because not only myself or C, we have Stuart, we have Ian, we speak on behalf of our members. What does that mean? If you have a problem, we'll take the problem, get an answer, come back. So if you have any issues or you have any problems, our company is very transparent, which means that we don't hide things. If you want an answer, we will go get it for you if we don't have the answer. Okay? I'm also a Master Property graduate. I am a new consumer community, I am a manager. I'm an international speaker and private investor and entrepreneur. I'm a marathon student. I can tell you with a marathon student, what I am today is because I've learned a lot from being in that marathon. It's hard work. I think I'm two tasks behind, but I get there in the end because I'm learning from it. I'm a trainer and also a facilitator. I'm a crypto unit program enthusiast and a private investor. And again, I've gone over the international speaker and mentor. Now, I've acquired these things not only in my own personal life, but I've also acquired them being in part of the Academy of the Private Investor, which means that every single person here, you can have the same things. It doesn't make me any special, doesn't make me any important. It just means that I have been part of the Academy of the Private Investor, and these are the things that I have acquired over that time. So let's get started, and I'm also the member of the World's General Peace Association. This thing here, the World's General Peace Association, learn to be a part of that, find out a little bit of information, because we are the first generation of the Academy of the Private Investor, which means, in Psalm 1, the word for generation is "Oka kore ngafa mua," which means we are the first generation for this company. And when I finish with my presentation today, I will give you a visual of what that means as a generation or a legacy. Okay? Let's get started. Okay. Do you want to earn and learn at the same time? Example, if I go to university, for 4 years. In that 4 years, I am trying to work and also study, but I don't get paid. I don't get paid for the subject that I am studying for. But the minute that you become part of the Academy of the Private Investor, you start to earn. Okay, that is the difference. Now this word Academy of the Private Investor, it's not like going to school. The word academy means you are part of a society or a group of people that are actually part of like a scholarship. Okay, so coming to the Academy of the Private Investor, you're not just a school person, you're not just learning something, you are learning something more. So multi-level crowd investing. Okay, we have two compartments to this, multi-level business and investment business. When you put the two together, we have a super platform. It is the first in the world. So what does that mean? Everybody understands what multi-level marketing is. It means you have to buy products, you have to buy, get people every single month. Here at the multi-level crowd investing, if you put the two together, what we do is we actually have a super platform. So this is what you get for multi-level business. You have access to training, home business, you're your own director, your own employee, you work online, unlimited revenue. I love that word, unlimited revenue. International business, and you also have a fast realization of your dreams. What does that mean? What does it mean fast? Well, the more that you invest into your portfolio, the more you build your wallet and your portfolio, the faster you will get to your dreams. Just to give you an idea, currently in regards to realization of dreams, my sideline, or my sidekick, Christina Folau, recently brought her mother in Samoa. Surprise, big, huge surprise, her mother did not know. Christina brought her whole house full of furniture. Her mother did not know that this furniture was coming. It was worth a lot of money. Her mother, unbeknown to her, rings her daughter and says, "Who's this Palangi man doing at my door?" And so Tina said, "Okay, Mama, I'm really sorry, but this is the company that's come to bring you your furniture." Her mother cried for days because her mother does not have any furniture and they are from a poor family. So this is part of the realization of dreams. Her mother, who has no furniture, received furniture delivered from Samoa to her village. We also have C and her sisters. Every now and then she says, "Okay, well, I'm just going to let you know, the house in Samoa, they just almost nearly finished. I think it's nearly finished. Oh, it's finished. 5 bedrooms, huge. All money from bonuses. All money from realizing your dreams." So the investment business, is also get consulting and training, investment instruments, opportunity to increase your capital and quickly, opportunity to create assets of 1 million in 24 to 60 months. I used to sit and look at that and go, what does that mean? What does that mean that it grows your assets? Well, luckily for all of you, we have our own department that looks after investments, and every time we get a new asset or a new investment, our CEO has gone through the whole thing and go, "Oh, no, I don't think that one's good. No, that's not going to make us money." You don't have to worry about that. All you have to worry about is growing your portfolio. That's what you have to do. That is your job, and share. Okay? So when you put these two together, it is huge. Okay, where do I go? So these are our achievements since 2014. Remember, guys, we are now 2020. So this has changed somewhat, but this is just to give you an idea. So we have 750,000 partners worldwide, which means we have more than that now who are active. Active means that you are bringing on new people, they look at their back office, they bring on people, and they grow their portfolio. That's what that means. Businesses in 175 countries, I know that that has grown even more. 71 people have achieved presidents. Again, that has also changed, and that will change. And I know everybody in this team will also be presidents. I know this to be true, because I'll be there first. Okay, we speak 11 languages, but we actually speak more. We paid out 98 million in network as bonuses. So back in 2014, they paid out this. But I know we paid out more than that, because we've got somebody that just paid her mother furniture. We've got somebody that's just finished a house. I know Ian's been looking at houses and cars. I know Chris has been somewhere too. But this is real, people. This is not something that we just made up. This is real. It is happening. So this is why I say to you, be ready, be ready, be ready. So we achieved 1.4 registrations over in 5 years. And this was really quick last year, because we had a promotion, and we just brought so many people in. And these are the people that we're still continuing to work with. Stories of success. Now, I know most of you have gone to multi-level marketing places, and you think to yourself, I don't know these people. I will never meet them. I can tell you that all these people here, they have one thing in common, and that one thing in common is their why. They didn't just miraculously arrive here and go, oh, I'll apply for that job, I'll have a story of success. Okay, no. So I can tell you, Neil Morrison, he was my coach for the marathon, not for the marathon, for the Profi bonus. What do you call it? Master Profi, thank you. He was my coach for Master Profi. Rita Ashen, she is our president. She is at our corporate office and sometimes in our Underwood hub. Okay, she is an amazing president, really good, always out there and talking to majority of people. Now, I've never met him in person, but this person here, NASA. On the Marathon 260, he talked about his story. He introduced himself and he said, as a young boy, he came from a third world country, very poor, had no food. If anybody can understand what 20 kilos, so if you go and buy 2 bags of potatoes, like a 10-kilo potato and another one, get 2 of them, he was lying on his bed for months on end. He was only 20 kilos. He had to be taken out of his house and taken to a place so that he could get medical attention. He is one of the leading people in our organization if you want to learn about health. If you want to know about health, always take the time to listen to him, okay? He's a really good coach. So I have not met all of them, but I have listened to them, and they are great teachers, and if you have the time, please make sure you listen to them. Another stories of success. Okay, 2 weeks ago, I dedicated my presentation to those partners who have moved on. Okay, I also dedicated that presentation to Arun, this person here, Arun. Last year when we came back from India, out of nowhere, his father died. It was the saddest thing. And this was over Christmas time. We just came back from India, everything was going really well, and then his father died. His father introduced Harren into the Academy of the Private Investor. It was the saddest time. So over that Christmas period, Andrew Hawkes, who is our president, went to, I think it was Singapore, went to Singapore, and he went on our behalf to show support to one of our people. So this is why I stress again to you guys what Chris said today. We are a family. You don't get left behind, okay? So whether you don't know these people, you will get to know them soon. And take the time to listen to these people when they speak. The advantages of the MLCI business. Again, you can work from home, be your own boss, and you can walk around all day with your pajamas and your slippers on. Start your international business from scratch, unlimited earnings potential, multiple income streams, unique business model, massive leverage across the entire network. Okay, how to become part of our project. As Manora said, she has registered 25 people in the last couple of weeks. If she can do it, anybody else can do it. So be a part of our project. Register for free. Verify your account. Participate in any training, presentations, or Zoom. Now in our team, and I'm talking about Siggy's team, from Monday through to Saturday, there is always something going on. So there's either a presentation, there's a Zoom for our elderly people going on at 10 o'clock. There's always, if you need training or if you need help in understanding, we are around to help you, all right? And then whatever you've learned, implement it, teach other people and get going, all right? Presents for the API students. Number 1, you get 150 crew points after becoming a member of the VIP club. Now, if you don't know what that means at 150 crew, just get your people on and get them to have that, because even if they don't do anything, this amount here could be worth a lot in 5 years' time. In 5 years' time, and yet you haven't put 1 cent in. But I don't encourage you to do that. Please build your portfolio. Every Tuesday, we have financial literacy training. So this is our corporate office. We do training on Tuesdays. Okay, and number 3, every Thursdays, we also do the MLC business training. So on Tuesdays or Thursdays, you'll hear Ian and you'll hear Stuart. Okay, so now you can't say you don't know these 2 people. You do, because you see them here today. All right? Okay, our mission of the new economic evolution of the world. What I want to say to you about this is this. The CEO had a vision, and the vision was he wanted to make sure that all the little people, when I talk about little people, I'm talking about you, me, and everybody else that has struggled financially. Okay? So his dream or his vision was to make sure that 15% of the globe was financially literate. So his mission is to make sure that the global distribution of wealth, security, and protection help others prosper and happiness and realization of dreams. So he's not saying, oh, I'm not going to teach you anything, I'm just going to be rich by myself. No, he is saying that he wants the globe to have the distribution of wealth. So as Ian spoke today, as the world is trying to figure out what's going on with COVID-19, how am I going to get a job? How am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to... While they're doing that, we're busy trying to figure out, okay, so when are we going to have our launch? When are we going to... We're in the right place at the right time at the moment. So if you haven't built your portfolio, please do it now, because I believe as of today, some of our EIPs have now diminished. There's only smaller packages left. So please hurry. Okay, so that is the global distribution of wealth, security and protection, help others prosper and be happy, and also have realization of dreams. 3 pillars of NEW. The 3 pillars of NEW is our foundation. It is the foundation of who we are. So the first one is education. So you learn, be educated in financial literacy. Okay, that's the key. Be a co-owner of what we offer in our assets and in our segments of assets. Business, be a business owner. Be a co-owner and also be a business partner within the Academy of the Private Investor. So this is our Presidential Council, okay? Did they miraculously get there? No, I know this person did, Andre, but these other people here, you might think, oh, I'll never get there. These people have also got a why. They worked hard to get where they are, and so are you. So we're going to start off with the other end. Cam, she is Vietnamese, but she is a president in the USA. Now, if you were in India last year, she wore the most amazing outfit. It was that color, and she had a hat, and the hat had the crypto unit. Yeah, and then she had like a train thing at the back, and it was all in the back there, and I'm going, wow, look at her. But it was amazing, amazing. Dr. Lydia Oinan, she is the president here in India. Havinda, he is also a president in India. Havinda is also on the marathon 260. Zamila, she is the president of Kazakhstan. Now she has an amazing story. She is from a third world country. She has helped many of her people become consultants, leader managers, all of that. But one story in particular is a 14-year-old boy who spent most of his time going through the rubbish tip, going through people's rubbish to collect cans and bottles. That's how he got his EIPs. All right? So there's no excuses that you can't get an EIP. I will use another example. Lovely Cephalina. Cephalina does not work. She is not on Centrelink. She does not receive any money from anywhere. But Cephalina will go around her house and pick up 20-cent pieces, 50-cent pieces, ask her daughters, do you have any money? Do you have any? Cephalina, that is how Cephalina has built her business. By collecting money, collecting bottles, collecting cans, because she believes that that is the 8 rules of the private investor. Okay, Armand, what can I say about him?
Listen me.
Listen me. Armand is very special to me, probably very special to Chris as well. He is our mentor, he is my business coach, he is my friend, and he is also family. He is the most amazing president that I know. If you ever have time to meet him, please make yourself known to him. He is a person that was brought up as with his mum. He's a single, he's Tim and his brother, but his mother, he didn't have a father. He was brought up by his mum. But when he used to coach us, I used to understand what he said. He used to say, oh yeah, Lucy, I used to be a party boy. I love to go night clubbing, I love to drink, I love to go out with my friends. And I'm looking at him going, but you're a president. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter who you are. As long as you share the opportunity, but be real at the same time. And that's what he is. I love that man a lot, because he's taught me a lot. Andre Hawks is our Australian president. He is located at our Gold Coast office. He's a great example too. If you have time to listen to his Q&A on the hot seat, he's a really good presenter. Dragos is from Italy. Really great to listen to him. Petru from Moldova. And then our wonderful chairperson Mila from the UK, she is president. And then most importantly is the one and only Andre. Now Andre is a man of vision. He has taught us how to think differently about how we do finances and financial literacy. Okay, so just a different way. He doesn't talk like he's just, oh well, you know, I'm the CEO, I'll sit in my office and do whatever. No, he will actually come out and actually do some classes and do some lessons. But we need to be grateful every day for him, because without his vision, we wouldn't be here today. And we are the first. And we are the first generation. Just understand that for a minute. You are the first generation. And I'm going to give you an example when I finish my presentation, what I mean by that. But we are the first generation for the Academy of the Private Investor and the new economic evolution of the world. So this is my favorite part, is what will be your decision today. I never go through these things here because I come from a place of passion, I come from a place of belief, I come from a place of faith. So when I say this, I'm going to give you 2 examples. The first example is this. 2 weeks ago, I dedicated my presentation to our partners that have moved on. So I'm going to acknowledge a couple of people. Tauranga Fiso and Ikeroma, where are you? Are they here? Ikeroma, okay, Ikeroma and Tauranga Fiso, please, can you stand? Where's Tauranga? If you could just grab him. And also Vale, Citi, who says not here? Okay. I'll wait till they come in. The reason why I've called these people up is very important. It's very, very important for all of you to understand. Tauranga and Ikeroma's mother died, I think, a month ago. They could not go to the funeral due to what? COVID-19. They couldn't travel. That must have been the hardest thing for that family to endure, because they couldn't go to a funeral. And especially because the person is your mother. Okay? So I dedicated my presentation to those who have moved on. And luckily for Tauranga and Ikeroma's mother, they know that they are well looked after, because she gets to leave a legacy for that family. For Si and Male, I don't know how many deaths they've gone through, but I know that they had a cousin recently who passed on, and that was a difficult situation. So as most of you know, islanders, we don't come in ones, we come in 10,000s, okay? So when there's a funeral, we all turn up in a bus and a truck. That's how we turn up. But at this funeral, there was only allowed 30 people. So as people come through, they had to tell others to go. Now that's very hard when you're trying to tell somebody that you love them, that you miss them, and what else could you do? But luckily for their cousin, they were able to leave a legacy for his children. Thank you. And I know recently too, they've just had another person pass away in their family, so they're going through some difficult times. So the reason why I brought that up to you is because when I dedicated my presentation to those who have passed on, a very good friend of mine and also relative to Lavalea Ayono, who is in Melbourne, also related to some people here, Lena Brown. Lena Brown was, I don't know, she was funny, she was the kindest person, and I did a lot of stuff with her, but it was a shock to me. It was a shock to me that she had passed on. But I remember 3 months prior to her death, I said to her, Lena, I know you're busy doing this other stuff, but are you in the New Economic Evolution? Oh, yeah, I'm in that. And I said, no. You need to tell me, I need to see with my eyes that you are a member of the New Economic Evolution of the world. And she was. So when she passed and they laid her to rest on Monday this week, my heart was crying for her, but at the same time I knew that she was taken care of and that she was able to give back to her family. So this is the thing I'm using as an example. The New Economic Evolution of the world doesn't just tell you to join something and then that's it. There is a legacy that is being left behind. Okay, so I'm going to use as an example. I'm going to use Tina as an example again. She has a son by the name of Max. Max has a daughter called Nadia. So I'm going to use this as an example so you can see what it means to be a legacy. So we're going to use this table here first as the grandparents, use this table as the parents, and then we're going to say one child, she has 7 children. One of her 7 children has 5 children. And then it goes on like that. So let's just say from one child, if you turn around and look to the back of the building, you'll see all these people, right? So let's just pretend for one moment, Christina Folau has now passed on, her son has now passed on, Max's daughter, who's Nadia, just one child, has passed on. But look at all the people. Look at all the great-grandchildren and the great-grandchildren that the Folau family have left behind. Which means, from this one person, that legacy covers everybody. Everybody. So let me go a little bit further. The year is 2121. I am the 8th generation of Nadia Folau. And my name is Sarah Lee Smith hyphenated Folau. Okay, let's just imagine that. The year is 2121. So the teacher says to Sarah Lee Smith Folau, who is Nadia's descendant, wow, Sarah Lee Smith Folau, you come from a family that is doing so well with financial literacy, and you are so well looked after, you have so many assets. Tell me, Sarah Lee, how did this happen? And Sarah Lee Folau goes, well, it started in the year 2011. It was founded by a CEO by the name of Andrei Karatev, and in 2018, my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents, they registered us in the Academy of the Private Investor of the New Economic Evolution of the World. All the assets, all the financial literacy that I know, it is from my humble beginnings of my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents who don't even know I exist. But I exist because my grandmother, or my great-great-great-great-grandmother, left a legacy. Do you understand what that means? This is what the Academy of the Private Investor is about. That is his vision, that is his dream. To leave a legacy for your family. So I want to just finish off with that. Have a really good think about what I've given you and understand how powerful, how impactful your futures will be. And we are so close, so close. So I'm going to finish off. Thank you very much for listening and staying awake. I'm going to now pass the floor over to the one and only Mr. Stuart Whitman.
What a hard act to follow. If CE had told me that there's that much talent here, I probably would have stayed on the Sunshine Coast. It's been an absolute treat to come down here today. So my name's Stuart Whitney. I'm a representative of the Asia Pacific Council. I'm a manager in the new consumer community. Certified Master Profit Coach, member of the World's Journalists for Peace, international speaker and private investor entrepreneur. I went to university, I'm going to tell my story tonight. I went to university and became a marine biologist. And I ended up spending the last 18 years teaching and lecturing in sustainability at a tertiary level for TAFE Queensland. I'm not allowed to mention them, so I didn't say that. I'm passionate about sustainability and the triple bottom line. Okay, so my job today is tell a story, so I don't know how we're going to do that. And this is my story. I'm going to start back. I loved water as a kid. I just loved water. So when I went to high school, you do the normal things a high school boy does, which is not doing his homework. All those mums who've got sons, put your hands up. Do they do their homework? No. So I got to, and I became very ill as a kid, so I missed a lot of my grade 11. I had pneumonia, and I was hospitalised with it. So I got to the end of the high school and I looked around and I thought, what can I do? What can I do? And I was going to do a diesel fitters apprenticeship. So I looked around, I found a company which was prepared to take me on, and I'd also put in, you know, the university preferences about 3 months before, but I forgot about it. So a friend of mine who was about 2 years older than me, who was doing the same apprenticeship, came to me one day. We were sitting down the beach, actually, we'd just been for a surf, and I said, how's your apprenticeship going? And he says, really, really great, except he said, if you get a chance to go to university because there's more girls. And I'm like this 17, 18-year-old boy. You know what 17, 18-year boys are like. So I took that to heart. He said, we spend all our time going from the TAFE college over to the university college to try and chat up the ladies. So I ended up getting this offer to go to Central Queensland University. So I off went to university. Now, who here has a degree? One person. There's only two people disadvantaged like me. You know what? You go to higher education and you learn more and more about less and less until one day you may know absolutely everything about nothing. Rightio. So we took off to university, and I'm sitting there. I was going to be a biologist, a field biologist, and the Chancellor was talking about this brand new course they had. And the brand new course was aquatic resource management. And I'm sitting there thinking, young girls in bikinis on the reef, or young girls in lab coats in the lab. So whilst the Chancellor was talking, I went out of the auditorium, I stood up, I walked about across 30 people's fronts in the middle, going, excuse me, and the Chancellor's up there talking about it. And I went straight up to the exams in enrolment, met a lovely lady, Rennie Jackson, who I'm still good friends with today, and she swapped courses for me. So I was in things. So how did I become a marine biologist? I was a 17-year-old, 18-year-old boy. Okay? But my lecturers gave me a passion for looking after the environment, a passion for the reef and looking after the marine environment. So when I got out of university, I went into the aquaculture industry because I thought, I've always been a practical person. Yes, I take serendipity and chances and synchronicity and chances. I grab hold of them, but I've always been a practical person. So I thought, you know, the best way to protect our fisheries is to learn how to grow those fish in a controlled environment where we can look after the environment and we can produce high quality protein. So I did that for around about 15 years. And if you go and buy Australian seafood from an Australian aquaculture farm, be assured it's very sustainable, very healthy, there are no chemicals, That is it. From there, I ended up at TAFE Queensland lecturing. And again, I actually had never applied for a job. How's that? All this, I'd never actually put in a resume and said, can I have a job for anyone? All I did was I networked. And there is a saying in business, your net worth is equal to your network. So I had managed to get, we moved out of far north Queensland back to the Sunshine Coast to start our family. We had a little boy. And I'm going to tell you a story about the time we were in Cairns. Whilst I was working in the prawn farming industry, I used to ride a bike to work. This is before our son was born. And, oh, by the way, I met my wife the first day after I changed courses. She was doing the course I changed out of. And we've been together for more than 35 years. So that was tick one, goal achieved. Sorry?
Go Stuart.
Go, yeah. So, I was riding my pushy to work, a drunk drove over the top of me, I got a bucket full of money for pain and compensation. I was young, I went to a financial advisor and I said to the financial advisor, we've got this money, I need to invest it for our long term. I don't know much about money. I know a lot about marine biology, I don't know much about money. So I was listening to this financial advisor, and over a period of about 3 to 4 years, we had made several different investments on the basis of the financial advisor. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. One of them was Ariadne. Who remembers Ariadne in Crystal's case? So that was one of those ones which didn't work. We got down to about the last $25,000, and at this stage my wife was about 8 months pregnant. And Microsoft, I'm talking about investment discipline. So we'd been listening to this financial advisor for about 4 years. He rang us up and he said, Microsoft shares have just gone to $2. If you've got any of that money left, which I know you do, why don't you buy a packet of and finish off your portfolio with a bunch of Microsoft shares. Now, my wife and I were both nerds, so we understood the value of Microsoft. But we also were young and full of ego. So I said to the financial advisor, I'll talk it over with Tracy and I'll let you know Monday. That was on the Thursday. Thursday night, I said, what do you want to, well actually Friday morning we woke up, I said, what do you want to do today? She said, I don't know. I said, let's go to the Cairns show early before it gets too hot, and we'll have a walk around in the Cairns show, get a Dagwood dog and come home. And she said, that sounds like a great idea. So we went down to the Cairns show, got there at opening, walked in the door, and this Subaru dealer spots myself and my wife with this big belly wandering around the Cairns show. He comes up and says, come and sit down in the cool and I'll get you a glass of water. And my wife said, yes. He asked us some qualifying questions. Who understands qualifying questions? Get it? Train yourself to understand qualifying questions. He worked out that we had money, we had cash. We were young, we had a baby, we had cash. Now at the time I had a two-seater high-ace work van. Not conducive for babies. Who's a young mum would like to have their baby put into a two-seater high-ace work van to get around? So we could have bought, and we should have bought, a good quality second-hand car and put about $13,000 to $14,000 into Microsoft shares. But we didn't. The Subaru dealer signed us up for a $25,000 brand new Subaru. He threw in the baby seat. What a great deal. Now, why do I tell that story? Because right now, Lucy has been talking about building a portfolio. Right now, you have a portfolio which you have been building and nurturing, and you need to understand to have the discipline to look after that and to continue to grow it. Because that car, I worked in the prawn farming industry, that car went to the wreckers as scrap. I got $100 for it 7.5 years later because it was rusted out. Microsoft shares had gone to $187 each. $4 million.
Stuart.
What's that?
111.
It's 211 today.
Yes.
It's 211. So, $4 million, or a bit over $4 million. Over the lifetime, if I had kept those shares, and they still have them, and I still have investments from when I first made those recommendations, we still have them in our portfolio, I would be up over $100 million up. But I didn't have the discipline to stay with my financial plan. 8 rules of the private investor. Number 5, have a financial plan and stick to it. We are probably, my belief, this is no one else, we are probably 5 years off. 5 years off seeing huge wealth with the CRU program. That's my opinion. There are people in this room who will see it go to market and think they'll cash in and make a win. Right? Yet, if you have the discipline to look after and nurture that portfolio which Andre has gifted us all, and it is a true gift, then we will have the generational wealth which Lossie was talking about. Your name will go down in history as the person who set up your family's future. And one of the reasons I looked around for something else to do, well, there's 2 reasons I looked around. I've got a couple more minutes. Yep. 2 reasons. I was teaching for TAFE, Queensland. I believe TAFE Queensland, or people go to TAFE, or go to university, or go to tertiary to set up their future so they can become a productive member of society, pay taxes, and to support the community moving forward. At some point in time, someone decided to turn it into a commercial product where they have to make profit. So people, young people go now to, and then, get this isn't political, is it? The same person who got free education under Gough Whitlam invented the HEX system, which puts our young people in indentured debt. How's that for a dog in the manger? You go and do, like the Academy of the Private Investor, we offer a course for you to do, and Andre gives you your first portfolio, which you can grow. You go and do a course at any tertiary institution now, you're going to get a debt for between $6,000 and $100,000, and you're going to get a piece of paper with the right to go and apply for a job with the 400 or 500 other applicants for that job right now. Right? Now, I'm not saying education's not worth doing it. It's absolutely worth doing it. But you need to understand the value of the gift you are giving people when you go and talk about this. We are not selling them soap. Nothing wrong with soap. It's pretty good that you all use soap, actually. We are giving the gift of financial freedom through our education system. We are giving the gift of, for many people, the first time they will have a portfolio outside of their super. You know who the super industry benefits, who benefits most from the super industry? The super industry. The super industry takes the bulk of the fees. My wife spent all the years chasing education and trying to get good jobs and work. She's got an honours degree, and by the time she got out into the workforce again, she'd run up against ageism. No one wants to employ her because she's too old. Nothing to do with the skills. Right? She's worked all her life for $40,000 worth of super. Think about that. You work all your life and you've got $40,000 worth of super. There's 2 super funds which she has never been able to roll over because the companies wouldn't do it, and they have eaten away to nothing over the last 14 years in fees. Right? So the only people who are benefiting from the super industry is the super industry. That's my personal opinion. Okay? But we set up a system where you can get great leverage, understand the baffling terminology the financial advisors are giving you so you can make informed decisions. So I'm at TAFE and I'm going along and I'm struggling and I'm struggling and I'm struggling because we're being put under pressure to deliver the courses quicker, with less time, putting more students under pressure and charging them more fees and putting them in indentured debt. And it's not sitting right with me. And then one day I'm sitting in front of my computer and I was asked to do something which just took me straight out of my integrity. Way above it, and my mind switched off and I had a mental breakdown. Who has experienced that? You don't have to put your hand up, but I understand. Right up until that point, I did not understand the depth of darkness you can go into. And if anyone here is struggling with depression or they need to reach out, they can always ring me because I understand. I struggle with it. The black dog. Yeah, Chris, I understand the black dog, once he visits your home, he never goes away. Like, we can smile, we can do everything, but sometimes it just gets to us. So I had a total dissociate breakdown for the day. Don't remember, nothing happened that day. And from that point in time, I went to the doctors. I thought, that's not right. And I walked into the doctors, and I was quite articulate right up until I sat down, and he said, "What's wrong, Stuart?" And then all I could get out of my mouth was dribble and nonsense. And I sat on a couch for 3 months watching war movies, the same 6 war movies, because they were heroes. And I sat up there beating myself up, thinking, how could you be so weak? Celia Duck, who knows Celia Duck? Oh, yeah. Known her for 30 years. Celia knew about this. She was a good friend. She got with Tracy and she said, get Stuart down to Brisbane and sit him in the meeting with Dr. Niski. Now, my wife will tell you she's not a networker. She loves talking to people. So she sponsors people, but she doesn't network. So who's one of those people who doesn't network? Come on, that's all right. You don't have to be a network 10,000. All you've got to do is talk to people. They'll tell you that they need this, and then you offer it to them as a gift. So she dragged me down to Brisbane, and she got me into the room with Dr. Niski. And then I met Sharon, and I met Sally, and I met Dr. Niski, and I met Miller. And I sat in the back of the room with a scouring face, whinging about my poor plot, and Dr. Niski started telling me his vision for a cleaner, brighter future. And suddenly I found my purpose again. The purpose I had to teach the new generation their skills so they could look after their family was taken away with a corruption. It's not a corruption as in Banshee, but a breakdown of a system which has served this country for a long time, which is, I believe, is on the wrong path to support our young people. I saw a vision for a cleaner, brighter future. And from that point in time, with the help of my wife, my psychologist, and all the support, I came out to the point where I can talk to you today. Cool. That's telling me I've talked too long. Rightio. So, my story still has a lot of pages to be written. Your story, if it relates with you today, I hope I've been some value, put it that way. But your story is as important as anyone else's. There are people in this room with powerful stories which will touch the lives of many people. Right? You just need to find the courage to stand on your convictions. Because this is rock solid. Every time I've tried to put a crowbar under it and move it, because we all have our own doubts. Who has a little dragon on their shoulder? Hey? Who's got a little dragon on their shoulder? And tells you, no, you can't talk to that person. They're too important. Right? Oh, he'll probably say no. You don't want to embarrass yourself. Right? You need to flick that little dragon away. Okay? You need to flick that dragon away, because it's not the people we're after who say no. It's the people who say yes, which will thank you for the rest of your life. Remember that you're in this room because someone had the courage to flick that little dragon off their shoulder and offer you an opportunity to take control of your financial future, to become a sovereign individual, Do you understand what a sovereign individual is? The sovereign individual takes full responsibility for everything they do in life. Everything that just happened to them. Right? I can talk about the drunk who hit me and I can blame him. But I can look at what could I have done to avoid that. Right? I could talk about my breakdown and I say, yes, it was this, this and this. But at the end of the day, it was myself, my own responsibility, which put me in the situation where I was dependent on a job which was no longer serving my needs. Who's in one of those jobs where the only reason you're going there is because you've got a mortgage and you've got commitments? There'll be a few people. Who's in a job where if the boss stopped paying you, you keep going for the next 10 years? Right? We could all become sovereign individuals. That's what Andre wants. He wants a movement of people who are financially independent. And when we're a movement of financially independent people, we can make better choices for our family, we can make better choices for our community, we can make better choices for our town, our state and our country, and we can work together around the world to ensure that we stay in a peaceful state and build everybody up. So thanks for your time. And thanks for inviting me. Any questions, I suppose? Yes, Chris?
A question. I heard this story after what I did. My father passed away. And I thought, well, I haven't had a new car for 30 years when I bought one. But I had the opportunity to buy a management pack in Skyway. So I bought that. And then I think I met Stuart maybe 6 months after, or maybe 2 months after, and he told that story. I thought, wow, this guy blew my mind. Okay. And 2, I want to acknowledge this was one of the first meetings I've ever been to where no one was looking at their phone and they were observing all the speakers, which makes the job much easier for the speaker to say. So you should all clap yourself. Thank you, Stuart, because having depression is not easy. I went through it. So I started to look on Facebook and Stuart said, wow.
Thanks, Chris. Rightio, guys. I'm going to hit the frog and toe. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to go back to Sunshine Card.
Give it up, Bob.